Joe Scarborough, a.k.a. the banjo player kid, the inbred from Deliverance, and his lovely wife, of course, they host this morning show. You may not know this because nobody else does, on MSLSD. And he was really into this Hurricane, Donald Trump, Alabama thing. Cut 5, go.
Donald Trump, bizarrely enough, was focused on a Sharpie doodle that he had done several days before. And there are, of course, the whole world is watching. There are consequences in Russia and China and Saudi Arabia and across the world. Leader seems...
You know, I'd rather have my fingernails pulled out than watch this guy. Really, I don't watch him. Here's the audio. Talk about a narcissist, an egomaniac. You know, people all over the world, and he's so dramatic. The Sharpie doodle. Consequences, you know. People all over the world, they watch this man, you know. Go ahead.
This detached and this unstable emotionally.
Yes, he's detached and emotionally unstable. You know what, you SOB? Every damn day you show up in that pathetic studio playing to your left-wing crowd. For money. For money. You used to support Trump. You supported him all through the Republican primary. Used to meet with him privately. You and your sidekick, Mrs. Ed McMahon. Now look at you. You're a disgrace. You're disgusting. People who see you at airports or public events, they can't stand you, can they? Except the libs run up to you. Joe, you're so good. Thank you so much. Thank you. But trust me, Joe, the vast majority of people you meet and see can't stand you. Because you're dishonorable. You're immoral. You're unethical. In so many ways, Joe. Boy, if somebody really did, Joe Scarborough, this is your life, that would ruin you, wouldn't it, Joe? Yeah, I think it would. Because you're emotionally unstable and you're detached. You're mentally unhinged. Why am I using these phrases? Because you used them about the president. If I were like you, Joe, and thank God I'm nothing like you, I'd call you neo-Nazi-like and Hitlerian, like you've called our president. But I'm nothing like you, Joe, so I won't do that. You really are a disgrace. But that's why you're on MSLSD with the great Andrea Mitchell. Every reprobate that they can find, they give a show to. Or they call a journalist. Al Sharpton. You proud of Al Sharpton, Joe? You are. Very proud. Proud to be on that network, Joe? With Chris Matthews? I'll have another drink, Chris. Or Rachel Maddow, conspiracy nut? Or Chris Hayes, moron extraordinaire? Right down the list. Right down the list of the reprobates. And, of course, you, Joe. You. The things you say are so putrid and vile. You're an embarrassment. But you can't control yourself. We have a hurricane, they trash Trump. We have a mass killing, they trash Trump. It's really quite incredible. I'm hoping that there's enough Americans out there, you know, red-blooded Americans out there who watch this day in and day out, watch these ridiculous town hall events on CNN, listen to Andrea Mitchell on MSNBC, watch this pathetic Joe Scarborough. Unfortunately, there's not enough who do, but maybe word of mouth, maybe as I play it, who say, you know what? We've had enough of these people. I've told this story before. My mother and father voted for Barry Goldwater in 1964. Obviously, they were Jewish. I'm Jewish. And fairly young. They lived in a basement apartment in Philadelphia. They didn't have a lot of money. And, of course, they wouldn't be expected, would they, to vote for Barry Goldwater? And I asked my dad, why did you vote for Barry Goldwater? He wasn't politically active, but he paid attention. He said, because I knew all that BS, but he didn't say BS, he used the words, the BS that the Democrats and the media were saying about Goldwater couldn't be true. So I voted for him. I hope there's enough Americans out there who listen to this day in and day out and say, you know what? What's being done here is unbelievable. And we now have Jerry Nadler coming back to Washington, D.C., Elijah Cummings coming back to Washington, D.C., to conduct more Soviet-style investigations about jokes the president made, pardoning people at DHS if they put the wall up, about the president's businesses, about the vice president's decision to stay in a Trump facility, about the Doral as a possible location for the next G7. It just never ends. And I'm hoping, and I have to believe, that there's enough Americans who think and feel like Americans do. Who think and feel like Americans do. That this is unacceptable to try and handicap and burden a president this way. To try and destroy a presidency this way. I mean, don't most of you agree with 80, 90% of what the president's doing? Some of you agree with everything the president's doing. It's hard to agree with everything anybody's doing, but that's a significant percentage of what he's doing. So they're attacking him because they're attacking his agenda, and they're attacking his supporters, you. They hate you. They despise you. CNN has completely given up on you. They have no expectation that you're going to watch their network, and they don't care. MSNBC, exactly the same thing. New York Times and Washington Post know that their readership is the kook base of the Democrat Party, and this is more and more the case. Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and Bits, they have decided, same thing. They're only going to appeal to the crackpot, knucklehead base of the Democrat Party and write off all the rest. And they're perfectly fine with that. Let's go to Chuck, San Antonio, Texas. Sirius Satellite, where you once had a Mayor Castro, as I recall.
I can't just believe what they've been saying for the last 5, 6 years or 4 years plus on Trump. I just don't believe it. They never even gave this guy a chance.
No. They were after him the moment he announced. And look, I've gotten to know him. He's really smart. He's charismatic. He's got a great sense of humor. He's 10 steps ahead of most people. And the media treat him like he's mentally ill. He's unhinged. He's got a dictatorship complex. They're projecting onto him their own mental frailties. Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they really do treat him. But one last thing I would like to get out there, it's in regards to this Julian Castro. Since I'm a local in San Antonio, this hack, I don't know if it's been known in the media much, but back in 2018, we had a killing here in San Antonio. A young boy was killed by an illegal felon. And basically, they just stuck it in on the tail end of a newscast here. That unfortunately he wasn't able to get a hold of the parents.
All right, my friend, unfortunately I have to go. That music means hard break at the bottom of the hour. I appreciate your input. I'll be right back.